So here we are, our second time out with the base camp, towing it over the Britannia Bridge onto the Isle of Anglesey. It's the fifth time I've towed the base camp now, and I'm starting to really relax with it, providing I'm going in a forward direction. We're staying at the touring park at Gadlys Hotel on Cemmaes Bay. It's a new touring park, a very pretty location with only 15 pitches. The touring park is literally a 5-minute walk from the famous Cemmaes Bay. We're on pitch number 2, which is a lovely pitch surrounded by flower beds and is actually quite private, nestled in the corner. So how did I prepare for this particular trip? Before I set off, I had the van on the electric hookup for 24 hours, and this was so I could get the fridge down to temperature ready to put all our food in. Once I'd got the fridge hooked up, I kept an eye on its temperature by using the app on my iPad. Another thing I really like about the base camp are the orange baskets. I love how you can just pack your clothes straight into them and then take the bag to the base camp and just store it straight away, ready for your trip. Another item that we purchased was a Camper Rally 200 awning. It only weighs 14 kilos and it fits snugly under the bench seat, and I've used the bike rack clip to secure the awning into the base camp. My wife also bought this funky new bin which clips straight onto the door. Preparing to tow the base camp again, I've bought this spray grease by WD-40. When I took the base camp out for the first time a couple of weeks ago, and I was pulling onto the touring park, I could hear the hitch was squeaking, and that was because I hadn't applied grease to the tow ball. This product by WD-40 will put a light layer onto your tow ball. So back to the pitch. I've been carrying around 4 blocks of wood with the base camp, which have come in handy on this pitch as it's on an incline. I've also got the awning up. It's not up correctly, but it's up. But when you take a walk through the van, you can actually see how much additional space such a small and portable awning does actually provide to the base camp. The facilities at Gadlys only offer 1 shower per male and female, but not to worry because the base camp has an excellent shower on board. So after a freshen up, my wife and I head to the nearest tourist attraction, which is the working harbour at Anglesey. And after a good stroll around, we head back to the base camp for a glass of wine and a relax before we go to the local restaurant on site, which was a stone's throw from our pitch, and I have to say the food was excellent. The next morning I'm up early to walk the dog around this beautiful campsite before heading back to the base camp for some breakfast. And after our scrambled eggs and a cleaner, we head to the North Wales coast path to spend the morning exploring beautiful Anglesey. After a great morning hiking, it's time to head back to the base camp for a coffee and a chill out, and we let the dog get some well-earned rest before it's time to pack the base camp up and begin to head home. And once again I'm using the Newbie's best friend, the motor mover, to nudge the base camp towards the tow ball. And once my hitch is attached, I'm going to make sure that my electrics are connected and that I have disengaged the motor mover before attempting to pull off the pitch. And that brings to the end another great trip with the base camp. So that was our second time away in the van, and we had another great weekend in the base camp. So as a newbie, what did I learn? Well, number one was the jockey wheel. What you don't see in the video is as I went to pull off the pitch, I still had the jockey wheel down, and it was actually my neighbour in the caravan next door that alerted me to it, so I was able to stop and correct that before I caused any damage to the base camp. So sort of going forward, I've got this to help me remember. I've got this magic three in my mind, that being one being the jockey wheel, number two being electrics connected, and number three being that the motor mover is disengaged. The second one is tyre pressures. So when I bought the van, I did ask the previous owners about whether they checked the tyre pressures, which they hadn't. And in my mind, I was nervous, and still am nervous, about potentially taking the base camp through a sort of petrol forecourt to get to an air valve. So I bought from Halfords, it's £28, a Michelin foot pump, and it's got a digital pressure gauge on it. Now the base camp tyre pressures need to be at 49 psi, and when I checked them, they were actually at 42, so I was able to use the foot pump to get them up to the right pressure. So that's one thing to keep an eye on going forward. Number three is the shower. The shower in the base camp is excellent. I really wasn't expecting much from the shower in the base camp, but it's got a good pressure. And even though the washroom is quite a contained space, especially when you pull the shower curtain around, there's still ample room to have a shower. So the shower, very good. And number four is the hot water. So on this trip, I used the gas to heat the hot water as opposed to the electric, because the gas heats the whale heater up in about 10 minutes. So there's about 8 litres of water in the whale heater. It gets its temperature in about 10 minutes. The electric gets it up in about 25 minutes. The difference with the gas is it gets quite scalding hot. So it's just a watch out, because when I had a shower, I almost burnt the skin off my scalp. So number four, the functionality of the kitchen. Well, the functionality of the whole van is just fantastic, but the kitchen is brilliant. My wife was cooked breakfast this time and prepared lunches, so the kitchen for preparing food, storage, and for cleaning up afterwards is brilliant. And then the last thing is the awning. So when we bought the van, it came with the Vango RVA 1 awning, which is absolutely huge awning. It weighs 30 kilos, takes up loads of space in the van, and plus I can hardly pick it up. So we're just going to use that for longer trips when we go away for multiple days at one site. But for weekends away, the Camper Rally 200, which we bought, which I store under in the bench seat, it's much more suitable for touring. I got it up. It wasn't up correctly. It was a bit wonky, and there was a few bits missing. So I need to do a bit of homework on how to put it up correctly. But for touring, a smaller awning is much better. So, yeah, another great trip. Really enjoying the base camp, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.